welcome to the Field of Streams, where every week I, your host, Janeen McCrae, read a short piece of my writing to you so that you don't have to. You're welcome. It's the least I can do. As I say at the start of every episode, I can't promise you much, but I can promise you this. I will not keep you long. But before we jump into me reading something that I wrote, let's talk about why I would even consider the idea that someone out there would even want to fact-check poetry. What was the inspiration for this bit of writing? 2 words: David Sedaris. I love David Sedaris. Love his writing, his essays and personal stories. And when I saw he was on Mike Birbiglia's podcast, I hit the old yes please button and had a listen/watch on YouTube. I'll put a link to that in the description of this episode. At around the 15.5-minute mark, David drops in this little nugget that the New Yorker fact-checks everything. I mean, I knew they fact-checked things, like most reputable magazines, but it never occurred to me that they might fact-check what are essentially, part memoir, part humour pieces. Fact-checking the details beyond who said what and where. The exact colour of things. Things that can't possibly be exactly verified from a person's memory. He tells a great story about a box of condoms and a cinder block, which I won't spoil here, but you can go listen to that episode. The point Sedaris makes is that when you get that granular, it adds layers of complexity to the story, and that's what got me thinking about poetry and what it would be like to fact-check it. If you had to fact-check poetry, which is all about evocative phraseology and painting pictures in your imagination and setting imaginary scenes and emotions, would fact-checking suck all the art, nay, all the joy, out of a poem? Of course it would. Would have to, wouldn't it? And that's how I ended up fact-checking some well-known poems in this piece, from the perspective of the fact-checker assigned to respond to the poet's submissions for publication. What I'm about to read to you is filled with poetic Easter eggs, and eagle-eared listeners have the opportunity to identify 20 poems that I allude to in it. If you want to see how successful you are in identifying those poems, I will check back in at the end and let you know what they were. I put the full list in the footnotes of the written version of this piece. The link to that is, you guessed it, in the description. But enough of this. Let's get to the reading. Sit back, relax, and allow me to read to you a piece of my unfact-checked writing called You Cannot Fact-Check Poetry. A cloud's lonely. Get a nephologist on the phone, stat! An atmospheric cleric with a head right up in 'em, digging about in that barometric baggage like some kind of thermostatic therapist. Where on the moisture spectrum does loneliness hail from? Is there a cirrus sentient scale? Do they wander as they wander? Do they question life choices? Do clouds miss their mothers, lament their empty schedules, or watch on as dreams evaporate, raining down sobs of solitude on the veil? Is any of this documented? Clouds have no eyes, they cannot see, and daffs don't dance, not even sprightly. Perhaps, Mr. Wordsworth, one should consult a psychiatric professional before seeking to commit such lies as these to paper, let alone attempt to get them published. We regret to inform you that we cannot accept your submission at this time. Best of luck in the future. Are all the plums eaten? I must also confirm the veracity and sincerity of the apology, and address the question of the fruit itself. Without the plums in front of me, which you claim to have eaten, although there is no proof of this, so I will require photographic evidence of the stone in the garbage, I cannot confirm their existence at all. Were they bona fide delicious, William? This submission does not specify if the plums in question were greengages, mirabelles, or even elephant hearts, which would change the overall flavour profile and help determine the truth of your allegation. Because if the plums were umeboshi, this poem will be in a bit of a truth pickle. And more to the point, to whom are you speaking? I will need their name and contact details to confirm this crime, this blatant plum theft, and if they really were saving them for breakfast, as you have stated. Perhaps they were going to make a pie or some preserves with these plums until your absolute greediness stepped in. I would like to get these specifics on the record. We regret to inform you that we cannot accept your submission at this time. Best of luck in the future. Does Hope really have feathers? Is Hope a bird? I know there is a bird called the hoopoe, Hoopoe. Emily, did you mean to write hoopoe is the thing with feathers? I see the hoopoe has very impressive feathers, so this is possibly a spelling mistake on your part? Please confirm. The general structure of this piece seems to imply you are travelling, which also makes the hoopoe a more plausible option since it is not an American bird, and therefore not in my Sibley Guide to Birds. If so, I will need your full itinerary with ports of call and confirmed accommodations, plus any receipts you may have used to claim expenses, but until then, we regret to inform you that we cannot accept your submission at this time. Best of luck in the future. Did all the clocks stop? I saw no reports of this on the news, so I will 100% need to see some kind of evidentiary support for this. One would assume that stopped clocks would have wreaked havoc upon rail, air and bus timetables. Travel, chaos. That would have made the 6 o'clock news, surely. Wait, if the clocks were stopped, they wouldn't have known it was 6 o'clock and that it was time for the news broadcast. Confirmed. One dog, correct? Can we clarify the kind of bone? Prevent the dog from barking with a juicy neck bone provides more context for the reader. And while I'm at it, can anyone confirm the dog was barking at all? Was there a noise complaint submitted to the landlord or local authorities by neighbours? I know you say the clocks were stopped, but a time of day for these events would also be helpful, and a timestamp on an official disturbance of the peace document will help establish the timeline of proceedings. Now, the skywriting. That should be easy enough to verify. I just need a receipt showing the booking of the pilot and the flight manifest, including flight path. I will also need to check the spelling and punctuation of "he is dead" as written in the sky. You have used title case in this piece, but I will need to see a side-by-side image of the physical in-sky manifestation to confirm accuracy and compliance. Snuffing out stars from the sky? Are you perhaps trying to say lights out, Mr. Auden? People appreciate directness. Be direct. We regret to inform you that we cannot accept your submission at this time. Best of luck in the future. Is that old lady wearing purple yet? Does she hang out with the man who has the bottoms of his trousers rolled? Do we have visual confirmation on that? Was it really evening all afternoon? Were they really the best minds of your generation, Alan? Multitudes? Walt, do you really contain them? How can we quantify that? Is there a reference book that plots that space in the body where the multidimensional aspects and unverifiable components of a human lie? Did you note it in your diary? Please submit your evidentiary support immediately to this desk. Until then, we regret to inform you. You cannot fact-check poetry. Those gentle nights which we refuse, our centres that do not hold. Poetry is the ethereal tremor of our barely constrained consciousness, wiggling and floating and seeking out the gaps in our floorboards through which to escape. Poetry is truth without evidence, the expression of our wants and feelings and ponderings given form. Poetry is faith. With poetry we accept, without question, that the human heart is more than an organ, that the thud we feel, the flutter, the jerk, the jolt, is not just blood moving through the vehicle of our body, but the orchestral stirrings of us, plucked and played as a song of life, a song everyone will interpret differently. How do I love thee, poetry? Here's a fact. There aren't enough beads on my abacus. Poem is perception. Poem is person. Poem is more than a word or words beginning with P. We can scream through a stanza. We can yearn in a couplet. We can process the world using the metaphors of our minds. The streams of our dreams ooze out of us and go, babbling and frothing with joy, pain, and questions, always questions. Poetry gives us a sense of ourselves. It is the expression of truth, not fact. Love, loneliness, plums. When I am hungry, feed me a poem. Poetry is a reflection upon our human pool. Our mountains rise, our clouds react, the fish of our memory jump, and in this image we dip and swim and drown. Fact, I don't know everything, but I do know this: we will all stop for death. But until then, until death kindly stops for me, I know that there is nothing more pathetic than caution, and so I will take that road and lurk late and drink the same water as the dinosaurs. I will compare all manner of things to a summer's day and greet myself arriving at my own door, in my own mirror, to feast upon my life. I will become the ocean and not get seasick every day. Give your heart its voice, I say. Put pants upon your posy and stride into this world. Submission accepted. And there you have it, today's episode. When was the last time you wrote a poem? Perhaps it was a rap? I don't rap, don't ask me. Anyway, as I mentioned at the start of this episode, there were 20 poems referenced in some way in the piece. Here is the list in the order in which the reference, sometimes direct, sometimes subtle, appeared. 1. I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. 2. This Is Just to Say by William Carlos Williams. 3. Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. 4. 12 Songs, number 9 by W.H. Auden. 5. Warning by Jenny Joseph. 6. One of my personal faves, The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock by T.S. Eliot. 7. 13 Ways of Looking at a Blackbird by Wallace Stevens. 8. Howl by Allen Ginsberg. 9. Song of Myself by Mr. Walter Whitman. Number 10. Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. Rage! I just added that bit. 11. The Second Coming by William Butler Yeats. 12. Sonnets from the Portuguese, number 43, How Do I Love Thee, Let Me Count the Ways by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. 13. Because I Could Not Stop for Death, again by Emily Dickinson. 14. Moments by Mary Oliver. 15. The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. 16. We Real Cool by Gwendolyn Brooks. 17. Bruce Banner number 3 by Kenyatta Rogers. 18 was actually sonnet number 18, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day by William Shakespeare. Number 19, Love After Love by Derek Walcott. And finally, number 20, Good Advice for Someone Like Me by Leonard Cohen. Did you pick up on any of those? If you want to read any of those poems, again, check the footnotes on the written version of the piece. I link to them all. Okay, that's it. If you want to talk about today's episode or why you like or dislike poetry as an art form, or even just to say hello, you can email me at noodle@jumpinthestream.com. I read every email I receive, even the spam ones. But I never click links in those ones. Remember, I share these streams of Janeen dreams just to demonstrate that inspiration can come from anywhere, so you might as well do something with that inspiration. It's good practice, even if it becomes nothing. But for now, I'll leave you with this. Love what you love, and I'll see you out there making stuff.